Good morning, everybody. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the history of the business and then some things that we're doing currently, maybe that you would like to pass along and help us take advantage of now that things are somewhat back to a normal state. Um, I don't know if everybody is familiar with the pink cricket, but we have been here since 1938 when the business originally started. As far as I know, and according to State Senator Tim Shaffer, we are the longest continually operating restaurant in all of Fairfield County, which I take a little bit of pride in being part of. Originally, we were not in our current location, but across the street on Main Street, if anybody is familiar where Don's Furniture is currently, there was a Cadillac dealership owned by Mr. Householder, and right next door to that was the original Pink Cricket. Now, the most believable story I have heard of how the Pink Cricket got its name was that back in 1938 was also the year of Pinocchio and hence Jiminy Cricket. But rather than it being called Jiminy Crickets at that time due to copyright concerns and neon being all the rage, there was pink neon that wrapped around the building. So one thing led to another and the Pink Cricket was born. Guy named Deward Shaffer owned it at that point in time. He ran it until 1965, whereas the local folklore goes, he was a little inebriated one evening in a car that he had that was painted pink with a pink cricket on the hood of the car, and somehow managed to put that car in the front of the building, irritating Mr. Householder to the point of where he was forced to leave and find a different location, which is where we are today. So 1965 November, we moved into our current location and it has been here ever since. My father and I took over in the year 2000 after a couple of other owners through, and I guess a transition time where it first started as a bar, and there was very little food that went out of it. Even rumors back in the 40s of where they did not allow women as a product of the time to even enter the building, and of course that has changed drastically since then. We've gotten to the point of where we are probably 80% more or more in our food capacity than we are in our alcohol trade these days. But we try to keep that mix to a point of where it is a familiar and comfortable place for you to bring your children after soccer games and things of that nature, as compared to the older days where it seemed to be the cricket was holding a beer mug more often than he was carrying a pizza. So it's just things change over time, things mature over time, and we've certainly gotten to that point. I know when they first started making pizzas, there was not a pizza place on every corner in this town. There was no such thing as a standard pizza box. And so they would put things on cardboard, pizzas when they came out of and on a cardboard, and slide them into brown paper bags. And that was how you would transport your pizza from the Pink Cricket to your home. So we've advanced a little bit past that, from an old single deck oven to, two double decker ovens and stuff. And, it's become quite the trade. A lot of people come in here are generational. I know probably 90% of the people who come through my door by name. Very, very loyal clientele. People have been coming in here since, like I say, the 50s and 60s. And in fact, we have a group of, guys and gals that are probably in their late 60s, early 70s these days, who meet twice a year and call them Pink Cricket reunions from, where they used to hang out here from even back in high school and stuff, which is, I think, a pretty interesting thing and a pretty cool thing to be a part of, that kind of generational, I guess, pattern amongst a client and just being part of the community for that long of a period of time. Currently, I guess we'll get into that. We still do things the old-fashioned way. I'm not sure how many people are very familiar with us, but I mean, we hand roll all of our dough with a rolling pin. We make our own sauce daily. We grind our own cheese by hand. I mean, we do everything, cut our own vegetables, slice 99% of our own meats and things of that nature. We try to stay as true to the original recipe as what we always have been, and it's a little more exhausting and a little more expensive, but we definitely believe that you can make the difference, or you can see the difference, I should say. I can say current operations, we've kind of expanded a little bit. Everybody is familiar with what the past year left in our laps, and when you're a businessman like myself who's been here for over 20 years and you're used to doing things a certain way, you kind of become maybe complacent to a degree that things just operate as they have always operated. With COVID, that changed things, in an immediate fashion and forced us to rethink a few things. But we always try to look at the silver linings and the positives that come out of these things. So we did add a brand new outdoor patio that started with 4 picnic tables in a gravel area and is now very nicely done and paved And we've got speakers and lights, and I even put a little stage out there to Rachel's earlier comment where on weekends we are bringing in little duos or three pieces and stuff for some Saturday night or even Friday night on occasion entertainment. So if you're looking for some place to sit back, get something to eat and relax, have a couple of cocktails on an evening on a weekend, well, I would hope that you would pass this along or maybe come down and join us. Also, something that we had talked about for a great deal of time was putting in a ramp, make things a little more accessible. And I don't think that without the trials of the past year and kind of the allowances we are allowed to have to improve our business, to maintain our business, that would have come to fruition. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback as far as that goes. And people, who are, older, have walkers, or, those with disabilities and things of that nature seem to be taking great advantage of that. And to my pleasure, it's always something that we talked about doing and wanted to do, just weren't sure, financially and logistically how we were going to make that happen. And sometimes, the necessity is the mother of invention, as they say. You adapt to things and you move things along, and we've made those kind of adjustments during that period of time that I think are long-term benefits. And and other relationships that we have made. And I made a great relationship during this whole thing with the St. Mark's Food Pantry, and it's something that we have really delved into greatly. And we do monthly contributions and run certain specials and stuff. And things of the nature we're doing now is like $5 flatbreads, and then 50% of whatever we sell to that, I'll put with my normal contribution to the food bank. People are bringing stuff in on a regular basis. We have a box back in the corner and drop things off and stuff to us that I run over there. But, once again, something that was always near to my heart, but just, that little push during that time to do something positive in a time of depression, was enough to get us kind of over that edge. So we're always trying to look up for positive points in the community that we can make, good things that we can push forward, and the same product and quality that I guess that we've always come to expect here. And if anybody is currently looking for employment, as most people in this town, I'm sure you have seen the signs around. We are definitely looking for a little bit of help, both in the kitchen and out front, serving and stuff like that. Having the expanded area is also expanded, our service area. So we need to be more hands on deck and more people in the kitchen. So if anybody is interested, or anybody interested, pretty please send them our way, and we'll do the best we can with what we've got, as we always have. But I appreciate the time, and if there are any questions that you might have for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
So oddly enough, I worked with Paul at Christie's Pizza. So we both have, all that pizza background, which is funny that now you're hiring again. Maybe I can send one of my kids in to apply. Can you tell us how to apply and what that looks like?
Well, we are pretty old school around here still. I mean, we still handwrite tickets and things of that nature. There are no large computer systems. I do have a forum on Indeed where there are a couple of things if you want to go on there and get. Also on Facebook, I post jobs periodically through. We are pretty, relevant on that platform. Seems like people kind of follow us through this thing. I list a lot of specials and jobs and stuff on that. But, there's always the old fashioned way of just showing up and walking in. We still, have paper applications and things of that nature. And if I'm not too busy in an early afternoon, it might be even beneficial to sit down and speak about hours and times that are available and see if there's something that people are interested in. We're to a point of where, people are ready and willing. We'll put them to work and see what happens. And hopefully things work out. Sometimes they do, sometimes they do not, but you never really know until you get into it.
That's pretty easy. I think that's easy for anyone to be able to do. I was looking at your Facebook page, and I saw that you have this weekend on Saturday at 7:30, the leftovers, and then the leftovers go to St. Mark's Food Pantry. Is that how that's going?
Trying to make a play on the same word. So yeah. It's the Bluegrass Band is what they officially call themselves. So if you look up YouTube videos or anything like that, Leftover Bluegrass Band is what it will fall under. But they just shorten that and always call themselves the Leftovers. So if you like a little bit of banjo, picking in a guitar and stuff like that, girl plays a stand-up bass, is phenomenal, good harmonies and stuff like that. That's the band that's going to be playing. And as the leftovers, as is stuff you do not use around your home, stuff that is sitting in your cabinet, stuff that you maybe do not use, or you're at the store. We'll get people who go and rather buying a couple of boxes of mac and cheese, buy 3 or 4 and drop a couple off this way and things. You would not believe some of the generosity of people. I've had people with whole trunk loads full of bags and stuff like that to take over, especially around holiday times and things of that nature. But we take any and all donations. As I say, the food pantry has become a great passion of mine. It's something I really dive into, headlong. And if it's not more than once a month, then at least once a month that we go over and we take a giant food donation, usually fills up the entire back of my truck. And then we try to present them with a nice check from different drives and stuff like that we have on there. So it doesn't really have much to do with the food pantry and the band connection, other than the name Leftovers that I was trying to correlate in between both of them.
Well, you did a good job. It's very entertaining to read. So good job on that. So as far as entertainment goes, do you have your schedule posted for each weekend on Facebook somewhere?
Facebook on our website, it is supposed to be up this week. We were trying to get it together, but I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, my website guy was on a 2-week honeymoon in Hawaii. And so back this week, since they got things canceled last year due to situations and stuff. So he's supposed to have everything up this week, and that should list everything through the end of August that we have planned. And, as long as weather cooperates, I will probably even book out further than that, maybe Labor Day, maybe even further if the weather's nicer. But I just think it's nice. I've always been a big supporter and enjoyer of live music, and it's good to have a little sound of guitars in the air once again.
So what is the website when you have it up and running? What will it be?
It is just pinkcricketrestaurant.com, and it is up and running currently. There are menus and stuff like that on there.
Okay, good.
Stuff. It just does not currently have the entertainment listings, but that should be coming directly. But like I say, I always post during the week before and try to promote any bands out there. So if you get on there and look this week, you'll see who's playing this Saturday. And if you look next week, you'll look who's playing next Saturday. And a lot of bands do a lot of their own self-promotion and things of that nature. So you'll see events created that we co-host and things of that nature as well if you go on there.
Great. Okay, well, that is all the questions I had. Do any of you guys have any questions? You can unmute if you'd like. Tina, I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you. Put it in the chat and I'll read it out. Sorry.
That's quite all right. There's always technical glitches.
We're all in our main buildings too. It's strange. Let's see. I think she's typing.
All right. I've got a minute or two more.
Oh, she said, my husband and I went there on our first date 38 years ago.
That is fantastic. I hear that quite often, the Pink Cricket Love Connection, so it seemed like a very popular place at one point in time, especially for high schoolers or people right out of high school and stuff like that to connect. But I do hear those stories quite often, and it's very touching that they still remember us. We have one couple that comes from Florida every year to visit. Wow. Usually always stops in because of a very similar story that they have very, very fond memories of coming here back in the day, their courting days.
She said she still frequents there as well.
We're very happy. I wish I could see the face. I'm much better with faces a lot of times than I am with names, unfortunately. But as I say, over the years, we have gotten to know quite a few people, and this makes it a very nice situation to come to work when you can talk to people like friends, and they're not just strangers and or numbers.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I don't see any on here. Well, I'm excited about Saturday night because I had my whole day Saturday cancel, and I was like, wow, what if we have a free day? We could go do whatever we want. And I think this looks like a great opportunity. So maybe we'll call you and try to get a seat ahead of time.
They're really good. And like I say, if you like little banjo picking and stuff like that, then you will enjoy what they have to offer, and something a little bit out of the box, Not that I have anything against cover bands by any stretch of the imagination and stuff like that, but I like to have a little bit of variety, so there's something for everyone.
Very cool. All right, well, that's all I have for today. If no one else has any other questions, we really appreciate you coming on today and And I like the positive, good stuff coming out of a bad situation. You guys have made some really positive changes, and I think that's fantastic. And I think that's the way it is with a lot of places now. We were in the middle of this kind of mess, but more good came out of it than we expected. So I think it's very positive, and we appreciate the changes that you've made in that way too.
Very happy to get back to, like say, some normalcy. And once we get everybody back to an even keel, then we can all breathe easy for a while, hopefully, right?
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time and listening to my spiel. Hopefully you got something out of it.